and welcome to RCKicks. On today's show, well, we're doing something that I really didn't want to do, but you keep nagging me and asking me the same question over and over again. So much so, I actually purchased this car for this video, but I purchased it nearly 2 years ago. Well, maybe a year and a half, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit. And that was to take Tamiya cars to the skate park.
I'm running out of time, every day goes by so fast. And every moment counts, baby, I don't wanna miss a thing. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, or hang out in hotel bars, driving somewhere in your car. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, under the stars.
As the amount of you that comment to me, can you bash a Tamiya car at a skate park? Now, a lot of you are going to be screaming at the telly right now saying, well, that's ridiculous and really obvious, but I get asked that all the time. So in this episode, we are finally taking the DF-03 Dark Impact, which is quite a nice buggy, and a Grasshopper bashing at a skate park. Now, I really don't want to do this, and this goes against everything that I stand for, as a lot of you who watch the show will know that I like shelf queens. I like my cars to be really neat and tidy. So taking them out and hammering the life out of them doesn't really do it for me. I have cars for that. I have my Traxxas X-Max and I have the Slashes and things like that. But these, to me, are for blasting around in the garden or taking out on the tarmac, not for taking to the skate park. But what actually happens when you take these to the skate park? Well, let's go and find out. Right, so you made me do it, so here I am, all your hundreds of questions saying, when am I going to take Tamiya to a skate park? Well, today's that day. I've got 2 Tamiyas and I give them all of 30 seconds. So yes, I'm destroying brand new cars just so you can get your kicks. That's right. Okay, let's see how long a Dark Impact lasts. Yes, we're actually doing it. Now, this car's got a silver can standard 540 motor in it, but as you can see, it's performing pretty well. So I was quite happy with the amount of power it had. It's just whether it could stand up to the abuse. Now, obviously, I'm starting off slow as there's no point just launching it and breaking it instantly. So I'm just getting used to driving the car and riding some of the walls. Not so well, obviously. Oh, that's it. So it just looks like the pinion came off. So I'll go back to the car and see if I can fix it. So the pinion and the spur moved on impact, that's what it was. So I just had to readjust the motor, but it's working. There was no damage to the spur at all. Now, between you and me, this is actually quite fun. This skate park is really good for bringing a car to, just not a Tamiya, but I will be bringing some other cars here. Now, it is a very popular skate park, so I'm not sure how often I'm going to be able to get access to it when there's no one around. Hopefully in the daytime when all the kids should be at school. So as soon as you get a bit of height, the car starts to struggle, and yes, that was a massive slap on the chassis, and I'm not sure how much it could take of that, right up to the point. Yeah, I actually hit the back of the car on the lip, and then it flipped over and hit again, and yeah. Oh. Yeah, there you go. So it's actually broken the whole rear bulkhead. Tamiya. So next up is this poor Grasshopper. If I could just ask you to take 2 seconds, if you've watched the videos and you've watched a few and you enjoy it, to hit that subscribe button. 58.6% of you that watch the channel aren't even subscribed. It costs you absolutely nothing. And being that we're such a small RC channel, every new subscriber really helps the algorithm find our content and push it out to more RC fans like you. Yeah, we're putting a Grasshopper around a skate park track. You made me do this. Also, this car knows what's happening to it because the servo packed up, then the receiver packed up, and I've had to scavenge the parts out of the dead Dark Impact to make it work. This car really doesn't want to be here. I have been fighting with it for the last 40 minutes to get it to actually go. Yep, a basic Grasshopper. Anyway, you wanted it, let's see it. Now, I'm sorry about the bleeping, but my transmitter batteries just went low, and that sums up this car. It has just been fighting me for the last 25 minutes, and then after I just about get it working, my transmitter battery starts to fail. Oh, it's just been such a pain. It really doesn't want to be here. Oh! Yeah. Oh, I smashed the whole roof in. Now, to give this little car credit, it took an absolute beating and bits were falling off left, right and centre, but it kept going. Yes, throughout the whole thing, it still was drivable. Just. Yep, like we all kind of knew, the hard body just can't stand up to any kind of punishment like this, so it was pretty inevitable that sooner or later the whole body was just going to start falling to pieces. Now the whole back of the body had totally disintegrated and the rear suspension just kept falling apart, but it kept on going. Now for me, this was actually a lot of fun, but it was also really painful to watch this poor little car getting absolutely abused. Yeah, I'm not doing this again with any Tamiya. I just can't face it. I just felt so bad for the little thing. So what can you learn from our experiment? Well, I'm pretty sure it's quite obvious. Yes, you do not ever take Tamiya cars to a skate park. They are never designed for that. They're not sold towards being a basher. They're for blasting around in the garden and taking out on tarmac. They are not for jumping more than a little tiny jump in your garden at best. That's just not what these cars are. The plastics are just totally not up for it at all. So now we have two broken Tamiyas. Yeah, I can't believe I did that, but here we go. So I managed to pick up the replacement bulkhead so we can get the Dark Impact up and running again because it's such a shame. I had to restrain myself from buying a new chassis and everything, as I want to drive this car, so there's no point taking it back to a shelf queen. Even though it is a lovely example, I'll keep it like this so that I can actually drive it, but we need to change the bulkhead. Luckily I didn't lose any other parts. As for the Grasshopper, well, the car itself is a little bit rough, but it's okay, but it definitely needs a new body. So I've placed an order for one and hopefully it'll turn up soon. But that actually still runs. I need to have a good look to make sure there's no cracks on the gearbox or anything, but it stood up reasonably well. But definitely, again, still, just because it kept going doesn't mean that you need to take any Tamiyas to the skate park at all. If you want to go bashing, buy a proper basher. Right, let's fix the Dark Impact. Yeah. Now, I have to be honest, I don't think this is the best idea. You basically got the whole upright and the spoiler all sitting off the back of the housing. So there's a massive amount of leverage on there, which is exactly what happened, and it just sheared clean off. Now, the main issue is that that's the whole center body of the rear diff housing. So to replace that part, you've actually got to take the whole back of the car off. Now, gaining access to the prop gears is really easy. All you've got to do is take this top plate off and it just comes off, so servicing it is really nice. Unfortunately, we need to remove all of this and the motor mount to get access to that rear housing. Now, this car is so easy to work on, I didn't even bother getting the manual out. Taking it apart, super easy, no real challenges, it's not a complicated build at all, and then putting it back together again, well, you're kind of doing the same thing in reverse, right? Unfortunately, nearly everything on the rear of the car is attached to this one part, so you've even got to remove the lower pins and take the arms off. As you can see, while I've been driving the car with it broken, it's rubbed away quite a bit of the rear of the car, but I'm not going to replace it. Right, we've made it to the halfway mark. Now the first thing we've moved over is the body mount. Next we need to take out the rear diff. So we have to remove the rear bumper, and then it's really easy. 4 screws, open the hatch, take the diff out, and then slide it into the new part. There you go, as easy as that. Next we need to connect up the arms again, so we've got to slide the pins through. Now we just got to drop all the gears back in. Got to be a bit careful, there's some shims in this kit, so you must make sure that the shims haven't fallen out or are on the wrong side of the mounting point. As I had to buy a parts tree because it's Tamiya, I might as well swap out some of the parts that I've got, even though the bits that I'm taking off didn't really need it, but they are probably a bit older, so a little bit more fragile. So there you go, no real harm done, just some replacement parts and a little bit of spanner time. Now I hope that finally answers your question on should you take Tamiyas to the skate park, and then you won't keep sending me the same question over and over again. Anyway, thanks very much, please like and subscribe. See you on the next one, bye bye.